So we were out one night. It was about 8:30 at night, and our lesson had fallen through because they do that a lot. And we had a list of old investigators again to go visit when our plans had fallen through. So for each of our main apartment complexes or areas that we were in, we had a list of people to go visit that we just referred to pretty constantly. And so it was late in this night, and we go knock the door of the old investigator, and no one's home. So we turn around, and we start heading back to our, no, just right across the street, because there's someone across the street. But this man stops us on the sidewalk, and he like thrusts his hand out, and he's like, "My name's Jose. I don't know what you have, but you're glowing and it's dark, and I need you at my house in 10 minutes. And we're like, okay, that's fine. And so we run to our recent convert's house, who is just right across the street as well. And we're like, Lavelia, Raphael, your neighbor wants us to come over. We need your help. We need you to testify that what we're doing is true, that it'll help him. We don't know what he wants, but you're coming with us. So they pull on their little tennis shoes, and they're like, oh, this is so exciting. And so the four of us go tromping over to his house, and we knock on his door, and Jose's there, and he was like, I wasn't sure if you girls were going to come on in. And so the four of us enter, and we talk for about 15 minutes, and he told us that he was an alcoholic, and he had gone one day without alcohol, and when he had seen us, he was actually on the way to the gas station so he could buy a beer. And when he saw us, he knew that we were going to be people that were able to help him and help change his life and the relationships with his family. And so he had felt very strongly impressed to tell us to come by his house. And so my companion and I are like, okay, this does not happen every day. It was really neat for my recent converts to be able to see that God really was inspiring people around them, their neighbors too, to open up and receive us. And throughout the course of the next few months, we helped Jose on a daily basis. If we weren't teaching him and his family, we were calling him and reading a chapter of the Book of Mormon with him. We were praying with him. We were texting him, following up with him. We were encouraging him to go to his recovery groups. And he really did start to change, and he started having days without alcohol in weeks. And it was a really amazing experience. It's something that I wish I could say, and then I saw him baptized, but it unfortunately wasn't. His family, and especially his daughters, had really strong ties to the Catholic Church, and he didn't want to divide his family further by being baptized in another church. And so eventually he decided not to be baptized and to stop taking the lessons and to kind of cut off contact, which was really, really hard for us to have worked so hard with one person and then not to see them take that step. But it was something that really taught me a lot about God's nature and just how much He works with us and how diligent He works with us and how He doesn't necessarily need the end result right away. And so it taught me to be patient with others because we're all recovering from something. And it taught me to be more patient with myself. And it was something that really helped me grasp the concept of charity, that we were helping him not for the one baptism at the end of the week and the key indicator and the picture and the gratification of knowing that we helped someone be baptized, but we were helping him because he was our brother and he was in need, and we were inviting him to come unto Christ every day. And I know it'll happen. My involvement in his story is just a few months long, but it's one that was very healing for me and for him, and so I'm really grateful that the Spirit brought us together. It was my first night in an area. I had just gotten there, and the girl that I was companions with had stayed, and so she was familiar with it. And this area was on bikes, so we biked over to this apartment complex. So it's Monday night, and we didn't have a set lesson, but my companion and her previous companion had pulled a list of old investigators to go try and follow up with to see if they were interested. And so we get to this door, we knock it, and this 14-year-old boy comes out. His name's Christian. And we start talking to him. We talked to him for about 10 or 15 minutes just at the doorstep, getting to know him, waiting for his parents to get back home. And he's really interested. You can tell he feels something. He's really engaged. He's talking to us about his belief in God, and it was a really uplifting conversation. And then his mom and her boyfriend walk up, and her mom's like, "We do not want you here." And we're like, "Oh, we're so sorry." And she was like, "It's fine." And then she just slams the door. And that was the one door that was ever slammed on my face the entire mission. So we just look at each other and we're like, okay, maybe it wasn't inspired. We'll go find a new house. So we go off, and actually we had a lot of success that night. And we found a man who gave us a referral, who led us to a family, and we taught the whole family, and it was really cool. That's a whole nother story. But we were definitely in the right place at the right time. Now, because we had found this other family, we were spending a lot of time in this apartment complex. And so we were on the way several weeks later to teach this other family that we had found that night. And a man and his son in a wheelchair is walking past us on the path in the apartment complex. And since we're sister missionaries, we stop and talk to everyone. So we stopped and talked to them, and they were busy at the current moment, but they told us to come back at 7 o'clock the following Tuesday. So we did, and we started teaching this family. And so now we're teaching this dad and the mom and the son, and it's going great, and they're all progressing towards baptism, and it was so exciting. And their son, after a few weeks, looked at us and was like, "Hermanas, I really want you to teach my sister and her kids. They really need God in their lives, and I've been fasting for them." And when he said that, our hearts just melted. We're like, "You're not even baptized, and you're fasting for your sister?" But he was like, "Will you go and visit them tomorrow?" And we were like, "Of course, Jose. Give us their address." He's like, "Okay, yeah, they just live in this apartment complex." So we're like, "Okay, cool." So he gives us the address. We schedule it in. We go there the next night, and we find the building, and we find the door, and my companion and I look at each other, and we're like, "This is Lucy's door. This is the one door that was slammed on us this entire transfer." And we were just like, there's no way we can knock this again. But we're like, okay, well, what do we have to lose? If anything, it's the second door slammed, and we go find someone else to teach. I just was not expecting anything from it. So we knock the door. Christian comes to the door. We're like, "Hey, Christian, remember us?" And he was like, "Yeah, of course." His mom comes to the door, and the reaction was completely opposite. She was like, "Hermanas, I've been waiting for you all week. I needed you guys to come back. Thank you so much for teaching my parents and my brother. Come on in." And so it was just this such extreme change of heart that God had prepared in the course of 2 weeks for us. And we taught them that night, and the 3 people, her and her 2 sons, all accepted to be baptized that night. And it was such a strong testimony to me that, first of all, that our plans really are inspired, because we felt impressed to go visit this old investigator, and then it didn't work out. So we talked to the people that was around us, and we got a referral. So we taught another family. So we were in the complex, and then God was like, "No, we're going to get this family." So he puts them in our path again. And then we get the referral for the sister. So we go there again. And it was such incredible timing, and God really just helping us get to this one family. And it really increased my testimony that he really does help our plans. It wasn't any crazy thing that we did. We just decided to go visit an old investigator, but he made sure through weeks and weeks of being in the right place at the right time that we would make sure we got into the house that we needed to be in. And it was amazing. It was amazing teaching them. It was amazing seeing the changes in their heart. And it was such a miracle for me too at the end of my mission. So I was really grateful for that.